Very, very shameful. See. For them to be on queue because of bread, 100 naira. See. Hey! See flog. Because of 100 naira bread. Oh, wow.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning. Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
Charlie!
100 naira bread. Lagos Island. Àwọn ló Hausa line. Did you see how long the Hausa line in Lagos? Then the Yoruba line. Baba, they beat human being just to stay on the line to collect 100 naira bread. I wish I could see the size of that bread. Then the guy who was recording, they started arguments. Igbo no day. Igbo did there. Igbo no day. As I tell you, say Igbo did there. Baba, that they could actually have physical line where they said Hausa, Yoruba. Even in this Wahala, people see they do tribal, bigoted, what have you, sharing bread. So an Igbo man whose shop was opposite the place said, well, I mean, I can't find Igbo line. Oh yeah, Igbos. He said Igbos will never do this. And he's right. A lot of people agree that it's true. Because it is either, if you see Igbos in that area, that means they came to their market to sell. If you see any other person, young person around there who is not a shop owner and is Igbo, is probably just an apprentice in another shop. So to have the large number of Igbos to queue that long collecting 100 naira bread is impossible. I'm not saying maybe in Igbo land where you have a large concentration of Igbos. So here you get. But in the land of Emilokon, Baba Sheraye, did you see what people have done to? But according to Remi Werekwe, all of these are for the future of your children. Teresa Mendoza, Ikoyi. Normally, I actually like to call her Teresa Mendoza of Abuja, Remi Werekwe. Oya fún wọn ní motivational speech. Oya ju kan fún wọn.
These are hard, but when I saw all those children lined up the street, I see that removal of fuel subsidy is for their future. We can come and do government as usual, business as usual, but I would tell you that certain things happen that would change the trajectory of your thinking. I want to work for you, and I believe that Mr. President has the same drive and zeal to want to turn this nation around.
When Remi Werekwe saw those children lining the streets, at least to come and see her, those out-of-school children in Kano, she felt like, fuel subsidies for their future. When those children, when they heard Remi Werekwe say, whatever you are suffering now that you're out of school, you are lining the street to welcome me, is for your future. One of the children probably feels like this. Because whatever you are going through now, they are convinced that more of you are still going to line the streets. And if you are lucky enough to be lining the streets alive, So maybe all the Remy is promising you will come to pass. Some people are going to line the streets dead. Ebi ló máa pa wọ́n kú. Ebi máa pa àwọn èèyàn physically táwọn èèyàn máa kú sílẹ̀ báyìí. It is already happening. Do you understand? So lining the streets, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa sọ ká máa clear o. To line the streets, begging àbí to line the streets nígbà tí hunger has finished you, dead, lining the streets. They are so sure and so bold, also very, very confident in that their failure trajectory, because some people are still clapping for them. So when I was about to come online tonight, so what happened is that I saw an headline where the Sultan of Sokoto, the Uthman Danfodio's grandson, the great-great-great-grandson, Sultan Ushokoto said, Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. They may not be able to control how the people are going to react anymore. He's talking about those region. He's talking about the region that once called protesting against government hardship on Nigerians was haram. For 80 years, it was haram. And he's now telling Tifnumbu that, it be like say, we not go fee control them anymore. All these things where they tell them since that say, but I say this hunger is speaking another language to them. And it's like this hunger is speaking the language they understand. So this is to remind you, say, if nothing is done, you might be sitting on a keg of gunpowder or anytime literally explode. Sultan Shati threatened Tifnumbu in a nutshell. So that anything where Tifnumbu may collect on like that. Left, right, and center. Wala tekboju. Wala everywhere. Anyway, from somebody who was in Abraka. Is it Abraka in Delta State? Should be Abraka, Delta Labraka. Abiugeli. Okay. From what we have heard, right? They said the state that kickstarted the NSAS 1 was almost kickstarting or may still be able to kickstart the NSAS 2. The police brutality attack on people has led to the death of one, I heard, and the bloody, experience for many. Now, they took to the street in Delta State to protest police brutality again. And just before this morning when just before that happened, somebody had this encounter with the police in that same state. Okay? Just listen to their conversation. And from there, I want you to remember that this is an encounter between a citizen and the Nigerian police at night. And you can deduce whatever you think from it. Then I will take you to Delta again during the day when they said, we are done. We don't want police anymore. Really? Watch.
No, I have to make you guys searching my car now. It's allowed. That IG gives instruction about that.
No. Yes, sir. Okay. IG say what?
IG gives instruction about
Call
that.
the IG.
That is not a crime to make a video where you're searching your car.
Call IG now. Talk.
I should call IG. Talk to
I don't know
IG.
if you know.
I can't call IG now. But that's
call him.
instruction.
Let me talk with him. Whether
That's instruction.
Okay, make me a do video for you.
Hey, you can do now. No problem, sir.
No, you can't video me.
No, I have
Your
to.
eye is here.
No, I have to video you.
No lie.
No.
I will go park your motor for airport.
You can go and pack it now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
If you know off that camera, your eye is your
No,
camera.
I won't off it. You can start my camera and video you.
No, oh yeah. You want it like that.
Yeah? Let's go to anywhere. All right. You are opening my car without me being there.
Me, I know they hear you.
I will to video is not a kind to video you.
Come. If you want to, no.
Excuse me, please.
No, you will not enter this way.
You are stopping me from
You don't want me to search your car.
I don't want to search my car.
Yes, you don't
Because
want
I'm making a video. That's
You
searching
don't want
my
me to
car.
search your car. You don't want it. If you don't off the video, I can't do that.
I'm not stopping my video.
Your presence is here.
No.
Okay, well done.
Take me anywhere.
I
So
say, see my man.
take me
Okay, sir,
anywhere.
come first. With this man. They told this, I don't know. He say he must put video on video. The video me say.
Yes.
Say he must video.
It's not wrong.
Kevin.
You're searching my car. It's not wrong to make a video while you're searching my car. It's not a wrong thing to do.
Harrison.
I'm hearing you, sir.
What is your issue now? This one Harrison. I went
He
to
stopped.
that Abraka.
He stopped me. He stopped me to search my car. And I told him it's not a crime to make a video searching my car.
Now.
So it's not a crime. Why now? Why not angry? Now let me enter my car. He said I cannot enter my car. Why not enter my car? Is it a wrong thing to do? It's not wrong.
When video is finished, you give me the picture. Let me see IB.
Good. It's not wrong to make a video.
Video him.
Yes.
Did he slap you?
I said he wanted to search my car.
Did he slap you?
Can I on the video? He said
you?
he did not slap me.
He
did not insult me, and I did not insult him too.
But he's a
You search
policeman.
him now. If you search him, you let him go.
That's all. There's no crime.
But let me tell you something. The way you are against police is not good.
It's a wrong statement you are making.
No,
I'm not against police. I'm against police brutality. I'm against police extortion.
Which
When you collect money from somebody, I'm against that. That's what I'm against.
You are against police too much.
You see your statement. Your statement is very, very wrong.
Harrison.
Your statement is very, very wrong, sir. You see why I have to make a video? Because I'm scared to be even here with you people here.
Harrison.
Yes.
You are my brother.
I'm very, very scared.
You are from Igbodo.
Good.
Brother.
Can you start my car? Let me go, please, sir.
Nah, this thing now. After Obio, what they call him?
Can you search, sir? Let me go.
Nah, what they call him? Former deputy governor, that place.
Can you search? Let me go. Okay, this your statement you made is very, very wrong. That I'm against police. I'm not against police. I need to correct that impression.
Okay.
I'm not against police.
Okay.
Even though police took me for 4 years in prison, I spent 4 years for nothing, illegal detention. I am not against police. I advocate for police. I do. Search, go ahead and search. No, I can't off my.
So that's Harrison. Harrison Guamshu. I can't remember his second name. So he's a guy who happened to be a police, the victim of a police brutality in Nigeria. He was, wrongly arrested because he couldn't pay the bribe. He ended up on awaiting trial in Nigeria prison for over 4 years until he regained his freedom. Now, this guy is now kind of dedicating his time exposing the criminals, the extortionists, the extortion racket within the police, okay? When citizens are extorted, because Nigerian police are the #1 kidnappers in Nigeria, in case if you are not aware. They will kidnap you under the harm of gun. They will take you to a secluded area, threaten you that they can kill you and nobody is going to see you. That even if they see your body, they can say you are an armed robber. So they will threaten you until they probably empty your bank account. More guys were clearing 30 million, 40 million from Nigerians, policemen. So this guy is sort of going after that. Once you get extorted by the police and you get in touch with him about within days, so he eventually built it. So he built himself enough that he has relationship with some of the top police officers. So he could reach out to them when he has evidence of extortion. All right. And some policemen have actually lost their jobs, including even being jailed too. Not like being locked up, okay, in Nigeria. So some knows him, not many, but in that regard, he was quoting their police IG that it is not a crime to record the policemen if they are searching you or searching your car or searching your bag, because around that is not illegal. But in Nigeria, did you see how they quickly approached it? Those are Nigerian policemen, and that's their language, okay? Broken English, and I don't even want to go into that. The unprofessionalism of these criminals, who are mostly, right, career criminals all their lives too, wearing that black uniform. They've gotten away with a lot, okay? But these days, a lot of them are still very kind of a foolish, existing in that contraption like is an isolated place. In this 21st century, where technology is everywhere, among these ancient rogues in Nigeria and this ancient force and their officers, they still get caught every now and then, okay? Extorting people, transferring money to their bank, to the point that some of them are walking about with BTC accounts in order to extort people with Bitcoins and all that in Nigeria. So this guy was there, and he's been doing well. So I wish him so well. Harrison, great job. So a lot of people have been their victims, and he's come around to rescue them, okay? So today in the same Delta State, young people, they took to the streets. police brutality, just like the poverty in Nigeria, remember that there is a demography that suffers it most. As everyone talks about poverty in Nigeria, how people are poor and all that, a lot of people don't know that it is the young people that are suffering more. I'm talking about the immensely from the effect of the ruined economy and the spreading poverty. Young people. When you take a look at the statistics of unemployment in Nigeria, and you look at the demographics of those affected, you will also realize that the young people takes the largest share of unemployment in Nigeria. They are educated, they are graduates with no jobs. Young people. Therefore, the pathway to poverty is already laid before them, and it is not escapable. Only few manages to bridge it and break the circle and jump out of that poverty pathway that these criminals have already laid. Young people. When you look at the police brutality record in Nigeria, seriously, you will also see that the demography that has suffered a lot in this aspect, in this malady, are also the young people. That is why it's so unfortunate that the young people who manages to sum up courage and stood up against the establishment and the system for the first time last year in your elections, they were served the dose of heartbreak they served their parents. I'm glad that a lot of you are not giving up, because young people who responded and felt like they could have something better and they believed it, they did try and give it to them, because they have been the demography that has suffered greatly from the consequences of bad leadership in Nigeria. Young people. And that's why when people ask, what are the young people doing? How could Nigeria population be 70% of young people? Imagine having a population of 210 million people, and 70% of those people are people between the ages of 0 and 30. People who are 30 years and below. Wow. And yet they have no power to change their destiny. From the hands of these relics, these septuagenarian, octogenarian criminals. That's why we need a lot of revolutionary minds, education, information, enlightenment that tells them that makes them understand the absolute danger, the absolute danger they are in if they continue to be complainants or continue to be victims. But if they can realize how powerful they are with that number, which is something the establishment is so scared of right now, and they're spending a lot to propagate so much fear. Don't try it, so they will kill you. You know you are still young. You have your future ahead of you. Don't let anybody tell you about any revolution. These are people who have their families abroad. They are not going there. Baba, listen. Anybody who get his family abroad is not affected by what you are facing. Anybody that can afford to send their children abroad, for education or anything, they are not affected, though. If you think you need those people who can afford to go abroad, or those who live abroad, before you can fight for your future, Baba, pathway to poverty. It is a no going back, no going back. Anybody that can afford to send his family out of Nigeria, their future is manageably secured. You that cannot afford to send your children from Ekiti to Akure, you that cannot afford to send your children to go and study in Togo, you are there and they are telling you that your future is better. Be careful, because your future is important. Future where they don't steal. Future of your children where they don't mortgage. They are telling you. Anybody that is telling you to go and fight for those future with their own family abroad, with their own children abroad, don't listen to them. Just go and pray that God should just do everything for us. Baba, your children are going to grow old and they will face worse than whatever you think you are facing now. And you know something? Those people who have their children abroad, all of us living abroad, you know something? Majority of us will still be living abroad. Majority of us will still be living fine. And guess what? The future they are telling you not to. Don't listen to them. That future they told you that they are securing for you. The one they are telling you that they are keeping for your children in 10, 15 years' time, you are going to be telling us, help me, help me, help us, help us. Our leaders are heartless. Our leaders are this. Baba, I left Nigeria 12 years ago with nothing materially. Just me and my sanity. 12 years after, if they are talking about growth, if they are talking about a personal development, if they are talking about a personal, re-education, if you are looking at somebody who you can say, at least, if I have been so starved of any success story I can point at, I know one Mayegu. I saw this guy grow. I watched him. I saw everything from the beginning. 12 years of my life, the ones that I managed to control by myself, without any input from the criminals in Nigeria, who told my parents that they were planning for my future. They lied to my parents. Until when I grew up, I realized that they had no plan for me. My parents couldn't fight anymore for me because they believed them. They left the fight for me. Now I am growing up. I have my own children. These rogues are telling me that they are fighting and securing the future of my children when I know they are not. Do you think I'm going to be comfortable leaving my own children to fight their own fight for their own children? 12 years of my life that I took control of my life without any input from these criminals and their policies. You can see progress, so even if you don't like me. Can you deny much progress you have witnessed in my life? Me, Mayegu, in the last 2 years. I'm not rich. I know, nobody say I'd be rich. But can you point at, say, now where I used to be, I still there. And do you know how many destinies they have destroyed in the last 12 years? Businesses, jobs, families. They promised them better life, right? So if I tell you something, you better listen. And if you don't, if you still think somebody like me who escaped from them is the one that you need to come back there and convince you that you have no future and your children have none in that place, well, you might wait extra. I will teach my children to help me educate your children. When they start complaining like you, Abi, are you not complaining about Nigeria now? This country is tiring. This country is evil. Ask your parents if they didn't complain too. They did. Yes, they did. Here you are. You are now a father. You are now a mother. Abi, you are also complaining now. Rent, job, this, that. Abi, if you don't want your children to do the same, do you understand me now? You will need to stop this. But if you don't, that's fine. I think I've had enough. I would probably still spend another 10, 15 minutes with you. I think we should leave it that, or should I? Now, you see this video I have here. I want to share that with you. And that could make me just do this 3 straight hours without taking calls. Are you bored? Because sometimes, when somebody just keep talking and talking until you just become so bored. Like, I'm bored. I'm bored. Are you bored? So that I can go. No? No, you will never be bored with Mayegu. Trust me, you will never be bored around me. I can speak like this for the next 6 hours. And you still will never be bored, except because you have work tomorrow. So I'm not going to keep you that long, okay? But see, pray for me that I don't get a backlash that is going to have me punished for sharing this with you. But it's so loaded with the truth. And it's spoken by a man of God, a pastor. A lot of us were raised to believe that what they did to us in slavery, the slavery they did to us, contributed to what we are today as Africans. As much as this rhetoric has been somehow like debunked to make us realize that you cannot blame colonialism or slavery and the rest of that on those, white people, as we call them, without acknowledging the local chiefs, black on black slavery, those who actually captured us, profited from it. Even when Oyibo stopped slavery, they still wanted it to continue. They looked for markets where they would sell our own ancestors elsewhere. Even when Oyibo, they told you and I to blame today. Then you have the neocolonialism, where your criminal, dark-skinned politicians, technocrat, elite continue to resell your countries back to the same colonialists. If we're asking for apology, restitution from these white people, why are we honoring those criminals who profited from this same slavery? That's why I'm sharing it with you. So pray for me that I don't get punished for it. I just can't let it go. Watch.
Look at our traditional leaders and the slave trade. We blame the whites for the slave trade we went through. We blame the whites that they offended us. They took us as slaves. But let's wait for a minute. Who sold the black man to the whites? Who sold the black man to the whites? Our own traditional leaders. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within. If we are asking the Europeans to pacify us and also to apologize to us, our traditional leaders must be the first to apologize on behalf of their ancestors for the evil they have done against their fellow blacks. Look at our attitude towards the environment and the destruction of our water bodies. All our river bodies have turned into dark brown. And you know what they said? In the next 20 years, if we don't stop this illegal mining, Ghana, we will import water to drink. Yet we don't care. And Chinese, they will come from their country into our forest, destroy our forest, destroy our land, and illegally mine and damage our waters. How can they come if the traditional leaders didn't give them permission to do that? And in one instance, while they were there, our military went there to protect them. Our own military that is supposed to protect us rather protected the foreigners to destroy our water and destroy our forest. The enemy is not outside, the enemy is within. If you look at our own systems and structures in our country, we don't have a better system to improve the lives of people. Pastor, I was surprised when I read in China, they had a 10-year vision, and they said from 2011, their vision was that in 10 years from 2011, and 10 years from 2011 will be what year? This year, 2021, that they will raise over 20% of the people to become multi-millionaires. Now in 2021, they have 1.8 million Chinese who are multi-millionaires in China, and they are between the age of 40 to 50 years. Multi-millionaires. The government intentionally decided that they would make sure they will have 20% of the population multi-millionaires. They also agreed that they will make sure that they will lift up the poorest of the poor. And they lifted 100 million people from begging to live a better life. But in this country, in our country, we fight our own businessmen. Our government will fight our business people. When they know that your business is thriving, and they know that perhaps you are not sympathetic towards the running party or the ruling party, they will fight you, collapse your company, and make you poor. When in China, they want to make the people rich. In Africa, we want to make our own people poor. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within. Look at our African leaders. How much they stole, the money they stole away. We are told in Gambia, Jamal Yaha, he stole $11 million US from his own country, Gambia. Sani Abacha stole between $1 billion to $5 billion out of Nigeria. Hosni Mubarak stole $17 million US in 8 years. The enemy is not outside. The enemy to our own progress is within. Look at our presidents. The presidents who were fighting for our independence, what we did to them. In Togo, the man who fought for the independence of Togo, called Sylvanus Olympio. When Togo got independence, he decided that they would not use the French franc, the French CFA. They decided they will have their own Togo currency. And you know what? They used Iyadema to kill him and to get rid of him. When Olympians wanted to make Togo great, the enemy within, the Judas within, killed him. In Burkina Faso, the man who gave them independence, Maurice Yamego, was eliminated by his own people. When Thomas Sankara came, his own body group killed him and got rid of him. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within. You look at our own country. Kwame Nkrumah started a new vision to develop Ghana. And who who undermined him from within. They threw him out by Kotoka. Today we celebrate Kwame Nkrumah, but their own Judas will damage him. I pray that the man who organized that coup to betray Kwame Nkrumah, and for us to name our airport after him, Kotoka International Airport, I think we should start a national conversation to change the name of the Kotoka International Airport. Because as long as that name is, we have endorsed coup, we have endorsed enemies that will fight the progress of our nation. We must change the name of Kotoka International Airport to Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. The enemy is not outside, the enemy is within. We need to ask God.
The enemy is not outside, the enemy is within. A very powerful message. I mean, it's not new, but it keeps kind of, feeling new and new and new again with the happenings around us today. So I'll leave it at that. Now, Africa is where criminals are rewarded, the enemies within. Those that are being called the heroes past, especially in Nigeria, these are a bunch of criminals, opportunists, destiny killers that were never really caught because the system glorified, honored, and in fact, engraved them in our memories as heroes past. So if our heroes past worked for us to have a better life, is this the better life your heroes past work for? Because in the future, people are going to call Tifnumbu heroes past. They're going to call Obasanjo heroes past. They're going to call these past criminals and their lackeys, right? They're going to call them heroes past. They're going to ask you to play to Nigeria, your country, to be patriotic, loyal, and honest. When the rogues, the opportunists, will never be patriotic, loyal, or ever honest. So do you understand the whole cheating, the whole rigging? The system is rigged against us. If you want a balanced system that is not rigged against you, the one that is being used, that is already rigged against you, must die. Or else, we are all living on a borrowed time. We will die. And it's not going to be on our own time. It will be in the time of the rogues who have turned themselves to the demigods now. If you don't stop them, they will kill us. But until then, people like me will never stop talking. Until then, I will never stop raising your subconscious minds to the danger around you. And what you do with all this information, my brother, my darling, is completely yours. But you will never pretend that you never heard about this. Or you don't know. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, when was that? Oh, I am so surprised, yeah? When was that? You will never pretend. Because even if you pretend to everybody, when you are about to become the victims of that Nigeria, when Nigeria is about to happen to you, the voice that will keep, ringing in that your two ears is going to be the voice of Mayegun, who told you, if you don't kill this system, it will kill us. So thank you very much. Like I said, I am so sorry I didn't take calls, okay? But better you probably enjoyed me to the last, Abby. So I am going to see you some other time. So thank you so much for your time with me this evening. And, don't forget, like the broadcast, share it, okay? And I will see you some other time. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary na ibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary na ibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ba bá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Ayé. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Mayegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́. Ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o. Ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Mayegun ti dé.